One of the things I find so interesting about successful people and what they do differently, successful people have contingency plans. If, then. Those of you involved in programming will remember if, then, else. Now, a lot of people are very good at coming up with contingency plans when they are running projects. What I've noticed is a lot of us, we apply certain principles to our technical fields, but we don't apply them to all of life. But successful people do. They've got if and then. If this happens, then I will do this. Let's continue with our weight loss example, and I tend to use these quite a bit in other sessions that I've done. Someone comes to me and they say, Paul, I want to lose weight. And I say to them, no, go for it. What are you starting to do? Then they say, I'm going to exercise on a daily basis, right? And then I say to them, oh, all right. Now, how long did you find yourself doing that for? And they might say, I did it for about 3 weeks. Then when did you stop? What was the barrier? What caused you to stop? It's important to actually analyze that, why we stopped doing what we've started. And they might say, it was when I went away on that business trip. Now, I can tell you right now, the reason this person stopped exercising when they went away out of town on a business trip is they didn't have a contingency plan that they decided upon before. You see, the thing about discipline, what discipline does is you live out how you've decided to be or what you think is best for you regardless of how you feel. So when you set your goals, don't set your goals just for when life is normal, just for when life is ordinary. Set your goals also for when life is abnormal. So for example, if this individual had said, this is when life is normal, I'll get up at 6, go to the gym, this is how I live my life. But if I'm traveling on business, then I will make sure that I book myself into a hotel that has a gym, and I'll make sure that before I go to bed every night, I run on the treadmill. You're being very specific. You know what the barriers are. You've got a contingency plan. Maybe you're in a situation where you're working on your eating. It's something that we all have to work on. How do we eat? Are we being full of nutrition in our food? How are we eating? And what happens is, if you know you're an emotional eater, you might say, this is how I usually eat. But if I'm feeling sorry for myself, if I'm feeling emotional and I start craving that particular donut, then I'll make a decision to replace the donut with that healthy snack alternative. I'll eat peanuts and raisins, for example. Okay? Now, if you've done it upfront beforehand, you're more likely to be successful with your particular goal. Most of us don't end up doing so because we've only got goals for when life is normal. Set goals for when life is not normal. If this happens, then I'll do this. Maybe one of your goals is to grow in assertiveness, to be firmer as an individual as you're dealing with intimidating people. You might want to say to yourself, your goal is not just around how you deal with people, it's also how you deal with authority figures who you're intimidated by. You might find yourself in a situation where you say, if I meet that intimidating manager, then I will make sure I ask them the following questions about themselves so that I'm shaping the conversation and not retreating. So you come up with an if-then approach, contingency plan for the difficult times, for the abnormal situations. That's what successful people do differently. Thank you.